Welcome back, guys. This is Building a Million one day at a time. So today I want to talk a little bit about a side hustle I've been thinking a little bit more about, and I've heard some stuff about it this last 2 weeks. I went down to Phoenix, and while I was down there, my uncle flew in and he rented a Tesla. And so I thought I didn't really think about being able to rent a Tesla, but Hertz, they were buying, they wanted to put in an order for 100,000 Model 3s to put in their fleet. I don't know if they have that many. I'll put that number up here if I can find it. But Hertz was talking about renting their cars to Uber drivers. And I got to thinking, is this an idea or a business that would be profitable? So I thought I'd dive in a little bit and look into it and let y'all know what I found. Now, I live in a small town, so when I DoorDashed, it wasn't super sustainable. There's a lot of people actually that do DoorDash here, and so with the small amount of orders that come in, you really don't stay busy full like all day long. But I do know that I've received comments from people in California that said, hey, we're making quite a bit more money than you are up there because we're busier, we're in a city. So these numbers, I'm going to give you the high and the low for both sides, just to make sure that you know that, yeah, you can possibly make this much, but you're probably going to make somewhere in between. And I was shocked to see where the busiest place was, so I'll let you in on that information too. So I looked at it to rent a vehicle from Hertz for a month. So I looked at it for one day. It was about $50 for a week. You're looking at like $350, and for a month you're at just around $2,200 for the entire month. That's taxes included. And I thought, maybe it seems expensive, but maybe it's not that expensive for what you can make. I looked at what it costs to charge a Tesla. So if you were going to be doing this months at a time, I would say just install a charger at your home. Buy the cable, hook up the 220 at your home so you can just plug it in overnight. These cars are getting about 260-mile range on a battery charge. So you're probably gonna, if you're doing 7 to 10 hour days driving, you're gonna burn through probably all 260 mile range on that, and you're gonna need to charge it. Now you can go to a supercharger and charge it there, but if you have the charger at home, you can just plug it in. Don't worry about it. It's ready to go the next day for you. So with that, my brother just hooked his up. He got his a week or two ago. I guess it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks since he picked his up. Super fun to ride around and drive. These Model 3s are 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. It's pretty insane to get a car like that for 40 grand right now. But so he hooked his up. I think he said getting an electrician over and setting it all up with the cable itself was like $900. So not super expensive, but if you're gonna do this for a full year, $900 is very small for a startup cost. Also, everything I'm saying, the charging it, the installation of the cable, all that stuff can be a tax write-off for the business. So that's a benefit. And renting the car, that 220 or that 2,200 a month is all tax deductible. So with that, you've got that set up. So on average, you're spending between $7 and $10 to charge it, which isn't horrible. It's a lot cheaper than it is to go fill up. And if you're driving 200 miles a day, you're going to be going through a lot of fuel, and it's going to be really expensive to Uber drive. So Tesla is actually a lot better for travel cost than ICE vehicles. So a lot cheaper there. I figure you're around $100 a month or a week to charge it. So that's about $400 a week to charge it. So that's tacked on as well. And then what can you actually make? So I was looking online to see what Uber drivers are making, and some are making, 35 to 45 bucks an hour in really busy places. I know they did an article about it, and they said some, like the most expensive ones in the main cities, like in New York, could possibly make up to $50 an hour. I don't know if that included tips or not, but the average does not make $50 an hour. The average is making between 20 and 35 an hour. So I did on the high end $45 an hour. And I figured if you're working 10-hour days, 7 days a week, you could possibly bring in $12,600 in revenue. Now that's your gross revenue there. After you took out your expense for renting the car and for charging it, you're sitting around $9,918, give or take, that you can make on the high end driving Uber and not even your own car, renting a Tesla. Now, is that realistic? Probably not. For one, who wants to work 70 hours a week driving? I mean, it's not manual labor, it's not intensive labor, but you are working, you are doing something, and that doesn't seem like a very fulfilling life. On the bottom end, let's say we were doing $15 an hour, or we're making around $150 a day, let's say. After you took out your cost of the car for the month, plus the charging, and I figure you're not going to be charging it as much, so I cut that in half to $200 versus $400. You're going to be making, at the low end, the really low end, about $1,700 plus a month. So overall, the statistics on it, you can make money. When I was door dashing, I was making about $150 to $200 a day some days, and I was only going out, 4 hours a day. So I was bringing in close to $35 an hour. Uber, I believe, people tip more than DoorDash, at least where I'm at. So I don't know if that $50 an hour again, or that $45 an hour at that high end includes tips. If you are an Uber driver and you can tell me how much you make in tips, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to learn that, to kind of be able to relay that information out to you guys. But if you're making more on top of that, more power to you. You're making a lot more money. And I did hear from an article I read about Uber that if you are driving an electric vehicle like a Tesla Model 3, that you do get paid more. I don't know how much more that is, but it's some green policy they have, so you actually get paid a little bit more. And they said that the ride shares generally tip higher when they are giving a ride in a Tesla. So you do have that benefit going for you as well. So overall, my research shows that this is something that if you wanted to do it, you could make a decent amount of money. If you figure to average between the 99 or 9,900 to the 1,700, you're sitting by making around $4,500 to $4,500 a month, and you're probably not working full time. This is a part-time thing or semi full-time, maybe 5 hours a day, and you're bringing in $4,000 to $4,500, and it's not even in your car. So that kind of made me feel like maybe I should be buying a house in Phoenix and moving to Phoenix and picking up a new job driving Uber. That's more money than I make teaching, I'll tell you that right now. If I could be making $4,500 after I pay off the car and everything else, that's a pretty sweet deal. I did want to show a few of the places that do get paid the most. Crazy enough, the number one spot was in Wyoming, followed by Santa Clara in California and San Francisco. So it is busy in other places. If you are an Uber driver, I'd love to hear some stories. Tell me, some of your craziest experiences. Tell me some of your greatest tips, stuff like that. So if you like this video, make sure you click that like button. Subscribe down below if you like content like this. And I try to put out a video at least once a week if I can. I've been busy really the last little while with coaching, but we've got state this weekend, so it'll be over after this week. So this is Building a Million, one day at a time. We'll catch you next time.